So it's Swami Ravi Rudra Bharati.
That's right.
So Swami, is that what I should call you?
Or Rudy G.
Okay. Call you Rudy G. So Rudy G, what is it that we teach?
We teach an embodied spirituality. Embodied means that we discover our spiritual connection through working with the body, through working with touch, through experiencing pleasure, but through finding the deepest and subtlest version of that that begins to connect us with something beyond.
Wow. So are we stepping into teaching tools for that awareness?
Sure, I mean, there are many tools and they're all important, but ultimately, once you kind of learn the tools, you can just spontaneously do it. So there's a story about Charlie Parker, famous jazz musician, and people were asking him, how can you play like that? He said, well, you practice, 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 and then one day you just rear back and wail. So you learn the techniques of Tantra, you learn the breathing, you learn some of the focus, inner focus, meditation, chakras, but then eventually you just go with it, and it's totally spontaneous, because really the essence of Tantra is spanda. Spanda is a Sanskrit word that is related to our word spontaneous. To be able to be totally spontaneous and yet totally connected spiritually and totally engaged with the pleasure of the body.
Ooh. So, sexuality and spirituality
aren't really different.
Ah.
But it's not just any version of sexuality. It takes some exploration, all of which is fun. It takes some exploration to connect with that aspect of your spiritual, sensual nature that does lead you to a connection beyond.
Ah. And what about this idea that Tantra is just massage and sex?
Well, massage and sex are not bad, and it's keeps people off the street. It has a lot of benefits, but that's just the surface. And if you don't go deeper with the massage, if you don't go into what is the reverberations of that touch and that sense of pleasure in the core of your being, meaning connecting up the spine into activating other chakras, then you're missing really the juiciest part of it all.
So we step into teaching about the chakras.
So we step into teaching about the chakras, which are simply energy centers where the kind of erotic, spiritual connecting is most intense. And by learning to attune yourself to those centers and experience and focus on the energy that's moving up through your body from the lower chakras up to the higher chakras, you really begin to be able to freely and spontaneously experience a whole different level of pleasure.
Wow. So if I've never been exposed to Tantra other than the word, what do I expect to happen?
Well, you expect to be discovering all kinds of juicy things you didn't know existed. And that's
through these tools and through this awareness.
Through practicing, learning, exploring, but you start with where you are. I mean, we don't expect anyone to start where they're not. You have to start where you are. But the idea is that your life embodied life, meaning your sense of being in a body, your sense of experiencing pleasure, your sense of connecting with others through touch, begins to evolve and go deeper. And so you start where you are, but you don't get stuck where you are. You're constantly moving into deeper experiences. And that's the path of Tantra. You might say the path of pleasure. But it's not just the repetition of the same old thing. That's total anathema to Tantra. That's not Tantra.
I'm interested in Tantra and exploring some of what you've said. How do I get started?
Well, you can read a book. There are books on Tantra. We did a book called Kali Rising, which is a great introduction to Tantra. That's one way to start. But ultimately, if you're really interested, you want to be in the presence of other physical bodies and the presence of someone teaching, to actually get some embodied instruction. And so we do that with workshops. And, you know, there are Tantra workshops that we offer, Tantra workshops other people offer. But you want to find a setting where you can learn basics and begin your process of your own inner exploration, which goes on at home. I mean, a workshop can get you kick-started, but then you need to spend time practicing. Practicing means doing some sitting, inner focus, doing some breathing. Begin to get more acquainted with your body. Yoga helps. And putting it all together gradually, you will begin to experience the kind of awakening of your own capacity for exhilaration and delight in being alive and in connecting with other people.
Well, I look forward to attending your next workshop.
Great, good idea.
Thank you so much.